welcome back to day 2. I think this is going to be a 2-parter of my polytunnel, getting everything sorted, getting the beds in, getting it planted out. But I have written myself a list because I am in danger of getting so obsessed with getting the polytunnel done that I neglect the other things that need doing this time of year. I've still got plants inside, which is, madness. Even if things shouldn't be out yet, they should be at least hardening up outside in the day. So I need to catch up a little bit with the other things, but that doesn't mean we're not going to do the tunnel. This is my list of things I want to get done today. I need to mow the veg garden. It's getting out of control. I need to plant some more sweet corn because I did forget the other day. I need to put up my brassicas because I started some new brassicas after the slugs ate the original load, and they're in tiny modules at the moment, so they need to get potted up. I've got petunias that are still inside. They need to come out into the tunnel at least. I've got some other flowers and bits that need to be planted out, and then finish the polytunnel. So those are my jobs for the day. Hopefully we'll work through them all. But before we do, let's say hey to the gooselings. Hey geese. Hey my buddy. Hey. Oh, what a nice goose. How you guys doing? Enjoying your field? It's nice that they say hi. Anyway, let's crack on. Very quick update on the polytunnel before we do. My darling fella has been out here this morning and he has been digging up. Oh, I fogged. Woohoo! I don't know if you can see from here, but right over in that corner is where he's been digging out, because we just got a big mound there. I'm not really sure. Before we moved in, someone must have excavated something and left all the dirt in a big pile. So he's been shoveling it out of there and bringing it in here to level off this polytunnel, because we had a gap under this base rail. So he's been doing that yesterday and this morning so that I can crack on today and get this actually, with no dig beds in. And everything else is how we left it last night. Tomatoes planted, peppers planted, tomatillos planted, cucumbers planted. It's been a hole overnight and the cucumbers haven't died yet, so woohoo! So realistically, should be able to get all this done today. I'm up for it. Although I should say it's already 11 o'clock. I have been doing some canning in the house this morning because I had a delivery from our butcher. So I tend to do like a bulk order of meat from our local butcher, and they deliver it. And that was a couple of days ago, and I've been meaning to get the bits, separated out in the freezer and into jars. They're nice and, shelf stable. But where the weather's been so good and I've been obsessing over the polytunnel, they've been sat in the fridge for a couple of days. So I got that done this morning, because usually I do my canning in the evenings sort of alongside making dinner, but I've just so not been up for it when I've been spending the days out here. So I've done that this morning just so that it's done, and now I can not worry about that anymore and crack on with the rest of the day out here. Now whatever is still in this greenhouse, probably time to come out, but I shall not be distracted. I'll check my list again already. What should we start with? Plant some stuff out. It's a nice overcast soggy day. It's not raining, but I don't know if you can see, we're kind of just in a cloud, so a pretty good weather for planting stuff out. So maybe let's get cracking with that first of all, and then that hopefully will free me up some trays to sow my sweet corn in. Okay, the bed I was going to put, it's a bit close. The bed I was going to put these flowers in is a bit overrun with some couch grass at the moment. I started digging that out, and then I thought, no, I really want to get these jobs done today. So I'm prioritising right now and leaving that job to deal with that bed for another day, so that I can get these flowers in and therefore free up this tray, so that I can plant my sweet corn and then get 2 of the jobs off of my list done, and I'll circle back to that job another day. So this is all last year's celery. What was this one there? It's still going strong. I harvested a load of celery last year, I dehydrated a load, I froze a load, and I've still got all this out here. So at some point, as you can see, it's starting to go to seed in places. This is going to come out, but in the meantime I'm just going to plant up this edge of this bed with some of these flowers. So I'll save a couple of these, but I want to get a few of these out. Interestingly, these, I don't know if you can see from here, there's some verbena. I tried to start from seed and failed, and then there were some growing in my strawberry beds that we brought from the old house, which were right next to my verbena. So there we go, lucked out on that one. So I've got some cosmos that I'm going to put in here. Again, I'll keep a couple back for prettying up pots, but I would like to let a couple get big and fabulous in and amongst my veggie beds. Just get some in. Last year I started a lot of pretty things and then I ended up just not prioritising them and ended up just not planting them out and wasting them, which I did find to be a bit of a shame. So I'm just going to make sure things get out, and then if these things are in the way and I want this space back later for something more productive, then I would rather have enjoyed them for a short period and then take them out and use the space for something else, rather than leave empty space and then let these die in the trays, you know. So that was a Xanthos Cosmos, and this is a Antiquity. I'm going to put one of each of those in here just so we can see the difference. Got just some old grass clippings as the mulch on this bed, which actually seems to be working quite well and keeping most of the weeds at bay. Oh, sorry, Mr. Worm. There you go. I might go pop these somewhere else. Come with me and we'll carry on. I feel like it's only been a few days since I was out here, and yet the weeds in this area have taken over massively. So what I really desperately need to do is get some mulch on these beds. Oh, look at that mycelium on there. That's good. This bed really needs a good weeding and a good layer of mulch. So I've taken one job off by putting these out, and I'm adding another job in, which is going to be to mulch this bed out. So these are my overwintered onions. They're actually starting to bulb out at the base now, which is fab. I've not got gloves on, and there's some nettles in here, so just going to rather crudely hack those out. Pull that one out. So I think I'll probably end up doing a line of beans down this whole bed, but that'll be behind me. So I'm just going to pop these flowers in this side, just behind these onions, because they hopefully won't be too much longer before we're starting to get some proper bulbs we can use. Oh, that's my timer. Needs to go in. Okay, we're here in the tunnel. Everything is taking longer than I think it's going to, which is always the way, but hey ho, we're in here now. I've freed up these two trays. These are leaks in between, but that's just the way it's worked out. These two are empty. One of them had those flowers in it we just did. I also just put out a whole tray of beetroot that I'd started in another one of these. So let's crack on and get some more sweet corn in. I need to do more beans as well, but I think sweet corn is the priority because they just take that bit longer. I've sown one tray already of sweet corn, and it was this variety, Gold Crest. So I'm going to pop another one of those in to fill out the bed directly outside this tunnel with all the same variety, and that is this Gold Crest. So that is another tray of the Gold Crest, and then I'm going to do one tray of the other variety that I've got, Sundance. And then I think probably be good for sweet corn for the year. I just want to get these used because these were packed 2021. Don't remember buying them, I don't remember ignoring them previous years. So hey ho, let's get these in. How many are in here? 40. So I'm going to double up in here, and then that'll be about this whole tray, and then at least these will be in. And then even if they don't germinate great because they are a bit older, I'm doubling up, so it's all right. Assuming that they do reasonably. I don't know how well sweet corn seeds keep, but we'll find out, won't we? Right, they're giving me extra, so I'll just find an empty pot and I'm going to bung these all in, and we'll take whatever we get out of it. So That is a whole tray plus an extra pot of Sundance sweet corn. I still have the mini corns to go. That's going to have to go on another day's list because I am just getting stuff done today. Fab, that's another job off the list. Let's move on to the next thing. I'm going to have a go in the Polytunnel now because that's the job I really want to do. And that's my reward for all of that weeding that got accidentally slipped into this list just so I can plant stuff out. Then we'll come back to the other bits because actually putting out the brassicas and bringing the petunias outside are quite simple jobs to do. And then I'll do the mower when I need to sit down for half an hour. So this is the current state of things. That whole side is pretty much done. The middle bed gets as far as this. There's probably about one more bag of compost to go here. And then I'll just bark on the edge so that we can walk around it. That's just a big pile of black plastic that was covering this whole area. Right, so now as you can see, this side is slightly different. So all of this was just no digged on top of after it had the black plastic on. Whereas this side was lower. There was a strip of grass along the edge which wasn't covered by the plastic. But has since been covered by a couple of layers of this brown paper and layers of topsoil that have been dug out from somewhere else on the property. So what I need to do for this side is to get those edges covered in another couple of layers of brown paper, and then I need to bark along the edge like I have on this one just to make sure that that gap is entirely closed up, and there's a nice mulch over that outside layer of green, and then I have to decide what to do because I will have run out of compost by then. So whether I just plant into the ground over here and hope for the best, or if I buy more compost, I don't know. I'm not going to get to that solution today, but I will at least get all of the mulching done with both the paper to obscure the light from the grass that's already growing here, and then the bark on that outside edge, and finish the pathways around here. Then I think I will call that a good job on this tunnel for now, and then maybe later when I'm sitting on the mower I will contemplate how to manage the lack of compost situation for this side. Hey guys, sorry I left you behind a little bit there. I thought I'd press play on that time lapse and it turns out I hadn't, so you missed it, but just cracked on with the day. So I thought I'd pick this up to show you what we got done and compare it to the list. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening now. I think I'm going to head in, start on my dinner because I worked up quite the appetite today. So I thought we'd go through this list I started the day with. Mow the veggie garden. I have done. You'll have to take my word for it. I've not gone around the edges, but I sat on the mower for 20 minutes making sure the majority was done. Sow the sweet corn, check. Put up the brassicas, check. I sat outside a minute ago. This was the last thing I've done today. Brassicas, were a bit of a mess in this tiny tray. So I've potted them up. Got all year round cauliflowers. Oopsie, sorry mate. This is some blue fescue grass I started from seed. It's also been potted up. And in here, well, this tag might show you how this has gone, but I'm going to take the fact that it's done as a win. We'll see what it turns into. Take the petunias out to the tunnel. They are in fact in the tunnel. I'll show you in a second. Plant out those flowers. We did that earlier. Finish the beds in the tunnel and finish the paths in the tunnel. Well, I'll show you how far we got with those. So I would say nearly done. The paths are in. I'll come down the other end. Hopefully the view is better. You can see, so this whole side was done last we were here, but this side wasn't. So I've gone over this with another few layers of paper. I got a right old sweat on doing that because it got warm in here. I've also gone around the edges with some bark. So now we've got pathways all the way down. Bark on the edges. Just try and keep the weeds out, and then we're getting some topsoil in on top of these beds. As expected, ran out of compost. I've got one bag left which I'm keeping back for planting. I'm going to just plant into compost, so rather than compost the whole bed, I'm just going to plant the plants into compost and then hope that does it for now. I got some more bits potted. I got some more bits planted out over here. I can't remember how far I'd gotten earlier, but there's some basil in here. I was gonna put this up, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna stick it in the ground and see how it does. And then these tomatoes down this end are Roma tomatoes. So these are a determinate variety, so I'll do less pruning on these, which is why I've been happy to double layer them, whereas the determinate ones in this row have just peppers in front of them so that I can keep on pruning. But I wanted to show you quick, the grapes have absolutely sprung into life since coming in here. Hopefully we'll be getting those in the ground really soon. Over here, this is where we sowed the sweet corn earlier. Those down there on the floor are in fact petunias, so they have made it outside. I'll give them a few days. They are going to be planted out any day now, as soon as I get the time and the brain space to do some pretty planting. This is spinach and beetroot, and they really need to come out of here because it's getting too hot in the day, so they'll go out as well. But all in all, I'm pretty darn chuffed. This is so nearly done. We've just got this bit of this bed to get topsoil on, and then it's done in here. Well, you know, for now. Phase 1 is done. But there we go. I've just left the compost bags on the floor because they're just blocking out the light for the grass. So it looks messy, but they are serving a purpose. Look at it go. So much done. I'm really happy, but I'm also really hungry. So I'm going to call it here. I'm going to make myself some dinner. Cheers, guys. I'll catch up soon, yeah? You had a nice day? You're so beautiful.